Everybody, this is 5-Star here with the last video of Operation Varsity. So we and so the veteran Jinx and me, we decided to bring this game to an end as there was no real chance for the Axis to come back, and currently the Allies are in the lead. So we decided to end the game, and the Allies, UK, France, US, KMT are the winner of this game. Now, let me talk a bit about this game because it was very interesting from the Allied perspective, because I didn't expect to have such an early entry into war from Germany. I think this was turn 3 or 4 maybe. So it was pretty early, and that meant also that not too many German units survived in this battle. They took France successfully, but it took them some time to secure the coastline. So UK was able several times to just capture like Normandy, Picardy. I don't know, like 2 or 3 times. And of course, this was not sustainable. So Germany was always able to take it back immediately, but it costs units. So they were bleeding out a little bit on the Western Front. But then let's say, the weakness of the Allied player, which was me, came into play. And so the veteran saw these mistakes I did with the positioning of the fleet, with how I spread out my fleet, stretched thin in the Atlantic. So he took advantage of that and took out my fleet not only once, but twice. So one time here in A21, and the other time it was Italy actually who killed my fleet in A44. I wasn't really aware that Italy can move through the Strait of Gibraltar and attack me there. So very good for the Axis. So there was a time where I completely lost my navy, and the only ships left were like 3 or 4 destroyers here around Africa on escort duty. But it took a while to get back, build a new navy, and now this can be found in the Mediterranean. But again, it took some time, and during this time where I couldn't pose a threat to Germany, he took advantage and tried to press into Russia. But Jinx, first of all, he played an awesome game as Russia, I think. So if you check the situation at the moment, he's totally safe in his home country. Only exception was an airborne raid here in North Caucasia. But other than that, there was no chance for, at least now, there's no chance for the Axis or the Allied player to cause a threat for Russia, for Comintern. So I think he played a really, really good game. And I think if he would have played like 2 or 3 more turns, he would be able to capture also the eastern part of Poland, Bessarabia, maybe even Romania, Hungary. So we can see a very, very strong force here. And I also highly doubt that I could survive here in Turkey if he decided to get to Istanbul. But nevertheless, we have now turn 20, so it would have been around turn 22, 23, and I think we never saw a game which take so long so that the Comintern could win. And so he was able actually to didn't lose too much home territory to the Germans. And after Germany had to spend money elsewhere, he was even able to recapture all his territories here at the border, and is now causing quite a big threat to Romania and the eastern part of Poland. So yeah, very good game from Jinx, and it was very impressive to see how you moved your army, positioned your troops. So this was really great. The same, of course, for the veteran here. He played, especially in the beginning, a very thoughtful plan. He captured France, went to Poland, took the rest of Eastern Europe in a quite efficient way. And what was really great to see is that he always bought fresh fighters for the Germans. So he always have like 6, 7, 8 fighters no matter what the results were in a previous combat. So that was pretty impressive here. And but I think now in the end, Germany had just too many um, areas where they have to focus on. They spend a lot of money in taking back Yugoslavia and Albania. They had to spend a lot of money also to send Lend-Lease to Italy. Italy also played a really good game. I believe that he was able to take out my fleet in A44 from Commonwealth, and then he was pretty much uncontested in the Mediterranean. However, Italy was never able to take Lower Egypt and the Suez Canal. So together with the help of the Americans, the British came back in the Mediterranean and now having a pretty stable force here in Sardinia. There's a small minor factory, and I really like this factory in this position because it gives you a lot of options. It's a nice landing spot, and you have an airfield there. So it's great to put the airborne units there together with the air transports, but also having a medium bomber there or other aircraft is just a great place to have here in the Mediterranean. There was a time I also had southern Italy as US, but I lost it because the Italians are able to present quite a force here. The Americans also built 2 minor factories in Albania, and I think the mistake I made here was I didn't committed enough troops and money to this area because I lost it to the Germans, and then it takes some time to take it back. And as you can see now in turn 20, I was able to take it finally back for the British. And I think with the improved factories I have with Commonwealth, I think I would be able now to hold it against the Germans. But yeah, we will never know. But bottom line for me is that Albania and Sardinia are some good places in the Mediterranean to act from there by the Allies. And yeah, I might do that again in the future. Well, what else can I say? The majority of the US fleet, they went to Pacific. So basically all the capital ships which were located here on the eastern coast, they went to the Pacific theater to win the Big Blue Fleet victory objective. And finally, after spending lots of money here, the US was able to get this victory point. I think it's worth it, although I had to spend so many resources in that. But it also means that Japan has to spend some money on the fleet itself to catch up with the Americans. And what was really beneficial to me was that US was quite successful with the tech rolls. I mean, I never did a factory upgrade here. So the house rule which we were using, I think was most beneficial for the Allies, especially for the Americans, because at the end they had like so many techs finished, and the most important one was the heavy ship construction, and also together with the improved construction. So I was able to build 3 heavy battleships, and I have now I don't know, maybe 3-4 regular battleships. Lost carriers along the way. There was a big naval battle here in I think it was the Caroline Islands, where Japan attacked the US fleet, and I was able to survive with these battleships, which are now in port in Malay, in British Malay. So at the end of this turn, I would have the Big Blue Fleet victory point again. All the battleships were damaged, but I was able to repair them on the previous turn with the Commonwealth dockyard here, the major dockyard in British Malay. But what we also see, and that is quite something which you don't see much in V4, I guess, that CCP evolved to a major power, and at the end, Japan had to spend so much money on taking Southeast Asia, defend against the FEC, which I tried to constantly move into Burma, lost many units along the way, but it kind of forced Japan to spend much money here in the Southeast Asian theater. And as soon as the Russians moved a factory here, Um, it was not inevitable, but it was um, quite possible that CCP is coming back together with the Russians here. So the Russia took all of Manchuria, took Korea. CCP now has most of China. I think the only the only territory left is the one where I have my KMT stuff here, which is Hunan. So Hunan is the last territory in China which does not belong to CCP, and I'm quite sure they would be able to take Nanking together with Hunan the next couple turns. Um, I was pretty passive for most of the time with KMT. I didn't saw the chance to come out of Yunnan. So first couple turns I was able to hold Krangtang. Then I went back to Yunnan, um, and then it was a matter of good timing to have an attack with KMT. So I was waiting until the momentum was on the Comintern and the allied side here in China. But still, I was not able to keep Nanking. I think that was my biggest mistake in this game. I think it was turn, I don't know, 16, 17 something. I was able to hold Nanking, and then I saw quite a big fleet up here with lots of Marines, and I kind of thought, okay, I might lose Nanking, and if I lose Nanking, I have 0 troops left, and KMT would basically be out of the game. So I decided to move out to attack Hunan, to recapture Nanking on a later phase of the game, but that was a wrong decision for sure, and I wouldn't do that again. But nevertheless, KMT was able to hold out until the very end. It got not destroyed. Um, so yeah, not too bad, but I think I should have done things a little bit different with the KMT, positioning wise and attack wise, and yeah. But other than that, I was quite happy that China had to come back here at the end of the game. Then FEC, yeah, the only purpose for them was causing havoc here in Burma, try to defend themselves in Calcutta, that the capital is not lost for the whole game, and it worked out. And at the end, I think having those heavy air transports is a great way to recapture those islands. So Japan had to deal with the American Navy at this point, and FEC together with the ANZAC were able to recapture most of the islands here. So it would be just a matter of time, maybe another round, and then even the Salaps or what is here, the Sarawak, and also rest of the islands like Philippines, Japan cannot hold against the threat of the air transport and the heavy air transports. So these are great units, and my base here in Western Australia was really, really great. You can reach most of the islands from there, and yeah, raiding airbornes from Sydney to Western Australia, sometimes with the help of Lend-Lease from US, really changed the course here of action. And yeah, but other than that, if we talk about Japan, they had a great start into the game. But then over time, I think they also had some bad luck with some rolls here, especially the Caroline Island battle was really bad for them. So bad luck for them, but other than that, they played a really, really great game. One more thing to say is, um, is the Spanish Civil War. So what was interesting to see that Qing's actually retreated from Madrid. It looks like an easy win for the Axis. And then another really, really bad role for the Germans. So what was happened is that Germany attacked with, I think it was 3 fighters against Catalonia, and in Catalonia there was an AA gun, and the AA gun hit 3 times. So it completely changed the outcome of this civil war, and at the end, the Soviets, the Russians, were able to recapture all of Spain and get their victory point there. Yeah, so it was a really fun game and an extremely long game, I have to say, but it was very interesting. It was also great to see that the veteran pulled off the coastline here. How is it called? I think the Atlantic Wall. So as all of my navy did some had some tasks here to do in the Mediterranean. There was no chance to take back one of these territories, so he put some heavy, some lots of stuff here, like the coastal artillery can be found in all of these territories, and lots of land units there too. So it was a real fortress, and there was no chance for me to take it back. Um, yeah, but let me say something about my two fellow partners here, partners in crime. Um, our discussions were very, yeah, let's say, it was very emotional, very direct. I love the way how the veteran knows the rules really perfect. So it was great. If I had a question, I asked him, and he always replied in a really short time. So he's definitely one of the most committing player here in Global Wars 36 community. And I have to thank you for all the input you gave me, for all the yeah, rule clarifications you provided throughout this game. And it was really great to play with you again. I think it was our third game together. Um, and I really appreciate the fact that we had a good communication together, friendly. It was very solution oriented, and yeah, same for Chinks. It was also great to have you on board, giving a new perspective on how to play Comintern. Um, and yeah, finally, I think that again, Comintern is in such a great position now. Actually, I feel that they should have won the game. And the only reason they did not is that the victory points are very, very difficult to get. I mean, imagine he has hold out the whole territory, his whole home country. Not even that, he's also, he took whole of Manchuria, he took Korea. He's in such a strong position. He could now start to put some air transports here at the border and easily invade Japan, so the northern part of Japan. He managed to have a strong force in eastern Turkey. From there, he could easily spread out to Iran, Iraq, Syria, rest of Turkey, and he has an incredible force here in Bessarabia. So, in my opinion, the win, the real win, is for Commentary, not for the Allies. But the rules are different, and what's also, I think, a big disadvantage for Comintern and the Axis is that they come first in the last round. So it's for the Allies to get the victory points at the end, and if they get it, there's nothing the other players can do against that. So I think the order of play and also the victory points conditions, they favor the Allies and the Axis a little bit, but definitely not the Comintern. So I hope this will change in the next version in v4.1, hopefully. And yeah, let's see how things go from there. So again, thank you guys for playing, for having this great experience to play with you again. And hope we can have a rematch maybe in the future with a new version of the Global War 36. And yeah, what's left to say? This is such a great game. I really love to play v4. Changes are really good here from v3 to v4, but it still takes some time to get familiar with all the changes. I did so many mistakes here. Things like moving submarine back and forth without submarine base, using 3 instead of 4 movement points, and all this kind of stuff. I hope I can learn a lot from this and will be a better player in the next YouTube war. Okay, other than that, thank you guys for watching. It was great, and I hope we see each other soon again. Okay, have a nice day. Bye bye.